All right, hello and welcome to Between the Seams. This is our Orchestrate episode. My name is Rohan Bediankel. I'm on the product marketing team here at MuleSoft, and I'm super happy to be here. Joining us today, we have Ryan Hogue, who's actually going to be doing a demo of this new section or this new capabilities. But before we get started, we're going to do a quick overview of what MuleSoft Agent Fabric is and how it all works. So go ahead and share my screen. All right. So we know that the average organization or average enterprise has nearly 900 different applications across their business. And this leads to disconnected data and siloed applications. And today, a new kind of fragmentation is accelerating. AI agents are popping up everywhere. They're being embedded in SaaS platforms. They're being built in-house. They're even being packaged with popular LLMs like OpenAI or Anthropic. And as agents everywhere start to multiply, many organizations are now faced with an unmanageable explosion of disconnected silos. Each agent promises to streamline tasks within its own application, but they're blind to the broader enterprise, unable to orchestrate actions across domains, and lacking the guardrails that are needed for secure cross-ecosystem collaboration. Right, and as more agents get built and onboarded, these challenges start to compound. Right, you lose track of which agents are being deployed and where they're leading, where they are leading siloed agents and trapped value. Agents also aren't able to find the tools and the resources and the other agents they need to get work done, leading to inconsistent experiences. The lack of control, the lack of visibility, exposes your organization to security and compliance risks, and limited insight into how your agents are actually operating and making decisions limits process improvements and leaves you with inefficient workflows. So this kind of proliferation of agents, we see it as inevitable. It's coming, but the challenges that are associated with it don't have to be. This is time to take control of the explosion of agents and really harness it to step out on the other side in a good note. And this is why we've launched MuleSoft Agent Fabric. MuleSoft Agent Fabric turns these uncontrolled agents into a governed and highly coordinated and intelligent network. It brings all of your agents into a single place so they can easily be discovered. It enables you to execute complex processes that require multiple agents and tools with security and governance at the forefront. And it gives you a holistic view of all of your agents, all of your agent interactions, no matter where that agent was built or where it might be hosted. So using MuleSoft Agent Fabric, you'll really be able to bring control and governance to your entire AI strategy, helping you accelerate your journey to becoming an agentic enterprise. And MuleSoft Agent Fabric is built off of 4 core pillars. The first one it starts with discovery. Right? This is a central registry where every agent, no matter where it's built, is cataloged and made easy to find, reuse, and compose into various solutions. Next up is orchestration, the ability to connect and coordinate these agents across ecosystems. So these multi-step processes and more complex processes that you have run smoothly. Right? Agents can work together to deliver a real outcome. Next, we have governance. These are the guardrails that ensure every agent interaction is consistent and compliant and secure so that your innovation happens with confidence. And finally, you can observe your agents. This is the end-to-end visibility into how your agents are making decisions and actually performing, giving you some insight into the black box of AI. So together, these capabilities come together to turn disconnected agents into a unified and trusted digital workforce. So in today's episode, we're going to be highlighting specifically Orchestrate. Right? You're going to be looking at how you can actually connect multi-agent workflows together. This is made possible through the Agent Broker. The Agent Broker is an intelligent routing service that connects agents across domains and really ensures the right agent is engaged at the right time. It's powered by an LLM of your choice, and the broker is able to dynamically match tasks to the best fit agent. So using the broker, organizations can transform these kind of scattered agents into a more high-performing and coordinated workforce. Now today we're going to be taking a look a little bit closer at the broker. And to do that, I'm going to hand it off to Ryan, who will take us through a demo of the broker in action. Ryan, take it away.
Hi, I'm Ryan Haig, and I'm here at We Dream in Oklahoma in Oklahoma City today. We just had a great event, and that means it's a good time to do an agent fabric demo of agent orchestration with the agent broker. Let's get into it. All right, this is my demo of the agent broker from MuleSoft Agent Fabric doing orchestration for agents and tools. So we can make Mule orchestrate other agents and tools. In particular, let's just get a couple of terms out of the way. What is agent broker? Let's actually do it from here. All right, it is a context-aware routing service. So this runs in your Cloud Hub, and it uses an LLM to intelligently route queries from users based on what the query contains to various agents or tools that you've made available to the agent broker in your configuration, right? So it allows you to have multi-agent workflows and tools defined in YAML, and then you can have GitOps or source control on your agent broker configuration, and this allows you to orchestrate any kind of agents or tools that you want. So the way it does that is through two AI protocols, not just one. So we use it's a client. The agent broker is an A2A client and it is an MCP client. A2A means agent to agent. It's a very recent protocol defined for API calls between two different agents using JSON RPC. We're going to see it hands-on in a few minutes. And this is adopted by this is a vendor-neutral agent-to-agent communication protocol, essential to making agents be able to ask other agents to do things for them. MCP is a tool use protocol. So instead of an agent talking to an agent, it's like an agent calling an API. So that's Model Context Protocol, and Agent Broker allows you to combine the two together. So you can have A2A agents and MCP servers both in your agent network and have the broker make intelligent decisions about when to use them. So I made a little picture. The user is going to send a query to your agent broker, and that's going to be an A to A query. So the agent broker provides its capabilities to clients over A2A. So the user could be a human, or the user could even be another agent. And it uses an LLM that you bring your own LLM, you configure it. I'm using GPT-5 Mini on this demo. And then you have a YAML configuration that defines all the agents and some instructions, and we're just going to see that in action. So that's probably what you came for anyway, right? So let's go see it in action. I guess this is all driven by Anypoint Code Builder. So in Anypoint Code Builder, I'll close all this down. You can create an agent broker project with the generally available Anypoint extension pack. So if you don't have the latest, you just update that. My Anypoint extension pack is 1 day ago. I got it version 1.11.5. So if you have anything older than that, I can't make any promises about things that I show you being possible. If you have anything newer than that, well, maybe you have better stuff than I do. So anyway, this was a 1.11.5. So you go to the command palette up here and you do MuleSoft create an agent network project. This is a very specialized type of project for Agent Broker, right? This is what I already did, so I'm not going to click it. You can go back in this and you'll get a palette, kind of like a Mule application, but it is not a Mule application. So you can kind of see some things that are on the palette. The YAML source code is on the right. You'll see I have a broker defined. I have agents and MCP servers, LLM providers, and connections. That's what this palette represents. So I've got an agent and an MCP server that I added already into this agent network. One of them is a badging agent that's running in Amazon Bedrock. And then an MCP server, which is just a calculator. And I've got a smart broker defined that has the ability to use the agents and brokers that I've hooked up here. And I can give it some descriptions and examples of queries that the different tools can do, and instructions for how the agent should make choices about using its tools. These are plain English instructions in the YAML file for doing that. So the main thing you're going to do when you try this out is you're going to select agents or MCP servers that you want to include in your broker project and go get them set up and get their URLs and things. You can kind of see in here there's an exchange.json file where I have the actual URLs and my API key, which is no longer active as of you watching this. And when you publish this to Exchange, let's do it like that. Ready? MuleSoft, publish, agent network assets. If I do that, that publishes more than just the broker. That publishes each agent, each MCP server, the LLM that you've defined, which mine's GPT-5 Mini, and the broker itself. So you're going to see 4 assets at Exchange. So let's go look at those. So here's my organization that I got set up for Agent Fabric. You have to do a few prerequisites, setting up a private space and some flex gateways and all that. So I already have all that setup done. We're going to go under Agents and Tools and go to Exchange. And you'll see if I go to my organization that I have 4 of them here. So by publishing my agent network, it published my OpenAI LLM, and that is now in the Anypoint Exchange. I have an MCP server, which is my smart calculator server, and I have the smart badging agent published in Exchange. And now if anybody else wants to make their own broker project, they can use those themselves. And then my smart broker itself is published as an agent. So see, it looks just like the smart badging agent. Smart badging agent is running on Amazon Bedrock. Smart broker is running on Agent Fabric. But when I did the publish asset step, all it did was publish the artifact for it to Exchange, and it's not running yet until we do one more step. So let's go do one more step. We're going to do publish agent network assets. And I'm going to actually go through that process here. Well, I could put new asset versions on all the assets, but I don't need to publish that one. So then I would do like this. MuleSoft deploy agent network. And this is actually going to deploy my broker to Runtime Manager. I have to sometimes change my business group because what I'm trying to do is you have to make sure it's select the proper environment and deployment target, which is a private space, has to be in a private space with an ingress and an egress gateway, and then all of your settings for the application deployment. And then I can hit deploy. And this is the URL of the agent, and you can have the URL. And I had a URL for the broker, for the MCP server for the calculator as well. So if I deploy, ACB takes care of that deployment to Exchange. And now the fun starts. So we're going to actually run some prompts through this thing and see it use the agent and the MCP calculator by itself. So I have a postman set up. You're going to get a little look at an A2A request. All of these agent network assets are published as managed instances for governance and visualization, but we're going to have separate demos for both of those. So here in my agent and tool instances, I've got the smart calculator server. When we did our publish assets, it published an API instance for that to the Flex Gateway, and you can set policies on it. The smart broker, that's my broker. The smart badging agent, that's the A2A agent that I'm calling, and my LLM. And each of those can have policies attached to them for management and governance. Right. So if I go to my smart broker, I'm going to have the consumer endpoint here. That's trustworthy. That's the English. So I can hit that copy link address and bring it over to Postman. And then I have a message set up here. This is a JSON formatted A2A request that I'm sending to my agent broker. Now, how would I know how to do that? There's actually a well-known URL to get the agent card as part of the A2A protocol. So if I send a GET request to this suffix on our application, we get out a description of the skills that the agent has and what it's capable of. And that's how another agent would know what to do with this agent. So agents can inform each other of what their capabilities are, right? We're going to go use I'm going to post a message to this agent, right? And I'm going to say, can I get a badge for Max Mule? And I'm going to try leaving off the email here, see what happens. So what should be happening is that we want the broker to realize that it has a badging agent and delegate that work. Send that off to the badging agent so it'll do the work. And we're going to see if it does so. And we should also be able to see logs in Runtime Manager while that's happening. And there we go. That's still running. I want to go check the logs. It looks like it says it's deployed. Aha. Well, I got a message back. I haven't seen it in the logs yet. It says, I can request a badge via the badge agent, but I need 2 required fields for Max Mule, the personal email address, personal ID, and email address. Please provide these. And I'm going to say, okay, how about his email is Max. And I'm going to try, I'll do max.mule at integration quest. And his ID is 456123 dash P. I don't know if it'll do letters. Let's see if it will do letters. And it's going to try to send that through to the, so the broker is going to discover based on the text of the message that it needs to use the badging agent and then send its own request to the badging agent before I get an answer. That's why it takes a little while. Should be able to see logs by now, huh? 2 minutes ago? Not yet. All right, that worked. Okay, now I have another idea. Let's do Flow.mule, and let's make her ID. I haven't tried this before. Let's make her ID EE followed by the product. How about I'll type it out? Followed by 58 times 41. Maybe it'll use the calculator for that. All right, now we got some logs. We can see these requests going by. It kind of tells you how it does it. See, it says LLM selected was the badge agent. Reasoning was. Subtask number 1 was this. I haven't seen it with the calculator yet, though. That was the first one. Sending A to A message to the agent. Executed tool. Output was this. Very good. That looks like that worked. Said the badge request has been successfully created for Flow.mule with personal ID EE, and you'll have to check my work though, but if it used the calculator tool, that should be accurate, right? EE2378. And if I can get the log to come up, yeah, here we go. I want to see, it should have used the calculator too, right? So it says LLM selected tool badge agent for this. Reasoning was. Executed tool badge agent output. Okay, so no, the LLM did the math. So I'm gonna just have it. I'm gonna do one more where it just does only math. So let's do this. I'm gonna ask it, what is the answer to that? 58 times 41. Now this time I want to see it choose the calculator tool. And if I wanted to fix that, I would probably go back in here and edit my YAML. I need a better instruction. I thought I was already pretty strict with it though. So let's see what I say in my instructions. Oh, see, it says try to use agent first when answering user queries. So I might be able to put one in here. Um, calculating arithmetic should never be done by agents. We should always use the AIQ. Finish that for me. So I will add that and republish my agent network assets first, so we can fix that error. Publish, and we'll get a new version out there that has better instructions and doesn't try to let LLMs answer it. But it is pretty interesting that the first LLM, the badge server LLM, was smart enough to get that multiplication problem right. So, all right, this was supposed to be a short demo, so I hope it was. I hope you got a good idea of what Agent Broker is. And here, I'll even give you a little visualize of my agent network that we just deployed, although someone else will be doing a demo of the full agent visualizer. Thank you very much.
I'm muted. All right. Now we'll dive into a quick Q&A section. Let's see what we have in the chat. All right. Kind of just starting off high level, maybe for Ryan, what was your experience, right? Like you just built that broker and built out this demo. How did that go? What are your thoughts? Just overall takeaways.
It took, yeah, sorry.
There you go.
From the code editing experience, I'll tell you the main thing is just getting your head around what the concepts are. That there's an agent network, that it has MCPs, it has agents, and then you're making a broker, and knowing the YAML format. So I think once we get documentation caught up, that's going to be self-service easy. I had a lot of help from my friend Yogesh here, understanding exactly what the new what the mental model is. But I mean, the code builder driven experience of just editing the YAML and hooking it up to Exchange, that was pretty easy.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's such a big shift, and there's so many new kind of concepts and names and tools and kind of workflows. So just getting used to it and getting comfortable with it is the first step. But no, it was super cool demo. It was really cool to see that kind of come together, especially from a community member such as yourself. Yeah. Kind of a high level. This one maybe Yogesh can take. When the broker actually is running, is it doing the orchestration at runtime, or is it static? Is it pre-connected or predefined?
Yeah, so the currently, this is our first version. The product will continue to evolve. Right now, it is a static orchestration, right? So the routing is dynamic, and when I say static orchestration, what I mean is at design time, you have to define what are the agents that need to be orchestrated. So we are not automatically going and discovering agents and then bringing them into the network. So right now it is pre-connected agents, and the orchestration between them happens at runtime.
Gotcha. Another question we have here is, how do we manage promotion from environment to environment?
Ryan, do you want to take a stab at it? I know you have an answer. You touched on the GitOps process and CI/CD in the introduction of your demo.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that it does that. I haven't done CI/CD myself yet, so I've only done manual deployments. But ACB-driven deployments allow you to select an environment when you're deploying your agent network, and so at the moment, I've only personally done it with hands-on ACB deployment.
Yeah. Yeah, just to add on that, right? So this is again brand new capability, and I imagine a lot of our customers will start exploring and experimenting with this. At the launch of Agent Fabric, we also launched MuleSoft Vibes, which gives you a lot of AI capabilities to manage your operational aspects of any point platform, right? So managing your environments, promoting assets from one environment to another environment, doing a lot of operational as well as administrative activities. So you can use traditional CI/CD processes, Jenkins or your DevOps pipeline, or more modern AI-driven actions using MuleSoft Vibes to promote assets from one environment to another environment.
Right. This is kind of a broad one, but do we have any limitations that are currently in Agent Fabric?
So I'll take a stab at it, give my perspective. This is a new capability that we launched. I would not call it as a limitation, but at the time of launch, we require customers to bring their own LLMs, right? So out of the gate, we support OpenAI Direct API and Azure OpenAI uh, LLMs for reasoning and taking that orchestration into account, right? In coming weeks, we are going to provide support for additional large language models, including Amazon Bedrock, Claude, Google Vertex, etc. But most importantly, Einstein LLM provided models will be supported as well, right? So that will give a lot of flexibility to customers as well as developers like you to use your Einstein Flex credits instead of worrying about, hey, where do I get access to Open AI API key, or how do I get access to Claude models, etc. So that's one. Second thing is, right now we support this agentic loop pattern, right? But there are new patterns emerging. Fantastic question here was, hey, do you support static versus dynamic orchestration, or can I bring my dynamic agents in the mix? So there will be additional enhancements coming in to support these new architecture patterns to support how agentic space is evolving. So I will definitely not call it as limitation, but there are capabilities that are available today, and they'll just keep on improving.
Yeah, just to kind of add on to that. Yeah, I wouldn't say limitations either, but there's definitely improvements, I think, across the board that will come out for each pillar of Agent Fabric. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a roadmap. There wouldn't be,
Right.
kind of anything for the product. We would just release a perfect product, and we would be amazing. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement and things we want to enhance and refine. But really, the best thing is to get your hands on it and test it out yourself and see if there are any gaps from your end, and let us know. I think that's the biggest thing from our end that could help kind of guide that end vision. Here's one. Is there a limitation to the number of agents or MCP servers that you can add in a given network? Are there, before you risk hallucination or anything kind of like that occurring?
I believe the limitation in terms of number of nodes is 25. I need to cross-check the documentation. We can probably park it on the side. I don't know, Ron, if you know on top of your head, what is the
I don't
limit?
know if there's a hard limit. I do think one of the things I've heard, Ashley mention is that we're currently establishing best practices and how you should be building your agent network. And again, this is a work in progress. So this is something that we'll kind of fine tuning as we roll this out and start testing it like at about a broader scale. I don't know if there's a hard number, but there definitely is a limit, and
It's
kind of
fairly generous. So I
Yeah.
don't imagine like a very complex agent network that requires you to orchestrate between 25, 30. The whole orchestration will just be too complicated to
You would
even
be
develop
doing
on
it
our
wrong,
side.
right? Because like you can have an agent use another agent. So you
Yeah.
could have a broker use another broker.
Exactly.
25 in one would be pretty hard to imagine.
Yeah.
I was just say, go back to earlier statement. If you want to test it out and let us know, like, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, break it and let us know so we can fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
what we love to see. Question here: does it only work in managed Flex Gateway, or Flex Gateway with connected modes would also be supported?
Yeah, we require managed Flex Gateway to use the broker capability. So if you remember Ryan's demo, he deployed that in a private space with managed Flex Gateway connected to it. And there are a couple of components in the mix there, right? So there is an egress gateway as well as ingress gateway to allow enforcing policies on both inbound as well as outbound traffic. And it just, supported in managed Flex Gateway at the moment.
Cool, makes sense. What's the difference between A2A and MCP in the context of Agent Fabric? Ryan,
Yep.
I'll take, yeah. So MCP is not for talking to any LLM driven agent. MCP is for talking to a regular computer program that does stuff. So I have an MCP server that controls my lights. So you don't use an agent for that, or an MCP server. You can have an MCP server for MuleSoft control plane, so you can list applications or something like that. So MCPs, that's why I like to think of them as tools. They could also like give you information to like list all my exchange assets. So there's a MuleSoft has an MCP server. A2A is for talking to other agents, just like the agent that we have here. So it's for, you might think of it more like a peer-to-peer thing. So it's you're going to send a prompt and you're going to get back a response. There's more to A2A. You can find out if you look closely in the Mule documentation. There's an A2A connector and there's an MCP connector, and they have a lot of technical. You can learn quite a bit about the protocols just by looking at what the connectors do.
And I would recommend that. Go check them out. They're all available in Exchange. Yeah. All right. I think that's everything I see on my end. So that's a good time to wrap it up. From our end, thank you so much for joining. Ryan, thank you for being a part of this. We really appreciate it. And love the demo that you put together for us. Really cool to see that kind of come to life. And everyone else, thank you so much for joining today. Join us for the next section, which I believe is Discover, or it could be Visualize.
Yeah, Visualize. Yeah.
Visualize. Visualize. I think it's next week. Check that out. Join us there. We'll be doing a deep dive into Agent Visualizer. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you.